Hey guys, it's the first day of Mega Rising and I entered a tournament. Yup, right there. I got top cut day one with a 4-1-1 record. And I'm going to break down the entire meta report of like what decks were the most played kind of in the archetype of their decks for top cut specifically. There was a lot of spicy decks, but for top 32, there was one deck or really a card that was in a lot of the decks in top cut. So I think breaking it down that way might be a bit more helpful. But let's just get started with the first deck list with, oh, hey, look, that's my deck list. That's my 17th spot. It was a Jolteon EX deck list, and I ran it with Giratina EX, 2 Oricorios, and the brand new Eevee that evolves. I didn't think Jolteon EX was going to be this oppressive, but with the Eevee that evolves, you can go turn 1 and your opponents can't even like generate energy. Suicune Greninja players, they're cooked. They are absolutely... yeah, they can't even play the game because they'll take chip damage. You bring them in, and it's not just the active Pokemon that takes damage. It's literally anything on your bench, on their bench, I mean, that ramps energy. Jolteon EX is crazy with the electromagnetic wall. I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe some people don't know what Jolteon EX does. It's an ability that says as long as this Pokemon's in the active spot, anytime your opponent ramps from the energy zone to their active bench, doesn't matter, they're taking 20 damage. It's literally a counter to Dark Tina, which surprisingly there was one in the top 32. But yeah, Jolteon EX is a crazy control card. I have Leaf, Cyrus, Mars, and Red Card. I threw those in because people are still running the, Entei, Suicune, Raikou lead, draw as many cards as possible. So having some sort of disruption there is good. May was helpful, but I think the star of the show is the Oricorio, because as soon as someone plays an EX, all right, Oricorio, what are you going to do now? The Giratina might be a little splashable. I'm the only player in this tournament that ran their Jolteon with Giratina. The other players played it differently. But yeah, I'm not like super against it, but I'm also like not maybe super with the whole Giratina EX. With that being said, I do want to let you guys know in Top Cut, there were 4 Jolteon EX players. So that's pretty good. Next up, let's look at the Mega Altaria, one of the Mega Altarias in Top Cut, because there were another 4 Mega Altarias. And if you don't know, for 2 Psychic Energy and a full bench, you could deal up to 130 damage. But the other cards that are in here that are rather unique are, well, you have a Relicanth here. That is your guaranteed Oricorio counter. It just one-taps Oricorio without a cape. Jirachi destroys Magikarps and baby Pokemon. And that's probably why we didn't see that many Mega Gyarados builds in top 32. I mean, we did see them. Don't worry, we're going to get to them. But we didn't see as many as I thought we would day one, right? So who knows? Maybe I'm a little bit right. Yay about the Mega Gyarados not being oppressive day one. But I was wrong about something else that I thought was going to be very good, and it doesn't look as good. The other card here is Chingling, which is literally Badoo from the official standard TCG that says, hey, you can't use rare candy from your hand to your opponent. You hit them for 10 damage, and then your opponent's next turn, they can't play any item cards from their hand. So it's a very cheeky control tech card while you're trying to get your Mega Altaria online. And on top of that, like, it retreats for free and it doesn't even take up the energy spot. So it's really good. The rest of the cast of the supporters, I think all these decks are gonna have Cyrus. You need it with the Mega Pokemon. There's also a Sabrina, Alicia, because that helps you with your Swablu, Jirachi, and your Chingling. Honestly, that's pretty solid. It literally hits everything but the Relicanth. There's a Red Card and a Mars for disruption. The second, look at that. Crazy. I don't know, guys. Maybe you have to put a Mars and Red Card in all these decks. The thing that caught me off guard is the Morty, but yo, I'm sure it worked for them. They got to top 32, so I'm excited to see day 2 of this tournament. I forgot to mention, guys, you're probably wondering, how did you do in Top Cut? Well, Top Cut is actually the next day, so if I'm feeling better in the morning, I'll probably stream my Top Cut. So if you guys are interested, tune into tomorrow's stream to see how well I do. Maybe I get knocked out round 1. Maybe I take it all the way and win another tournament. Who knows? Next up, let's look at the Mega Gyarados deck that was in Top Cut. There were only 2 winning Mega Gyarados EX decks that made it to Top Cut in this tournament, and they're all running a Pokemon under 50 HP, which is why they're taking full advantage of Licia, and I think that's pretty good. Now, the thing about this is if you get your Mega Gyarados online quickly, you're not even running a, what's it called, Misty in this deck. So you're not wasting any supporter cards there. What you're trying to do is get your Mega Gyarados online as fast as possible. You can lose up to 2 Pokemon. Well, technically 1 Pokemon, because if they have a Sabrina and you have something on your bench, they could win that way. But by that time, you should hopefully have your 4 energy onto your Mega Gyarados. So then you can give it the heavy helmet. Heavy is the crown, you know, because it has 3 retreat cost. And now your Mega Gyarados is taking less damage, 20 less damage from attacks. On top of that, the double Milotic, genius. Why would you put Airida? I mean, I know why you would put Airida, but like this helps you heal even more and keep your Mega Pokemon alive. If you take enough damage where you're scared you're going to get one shot next turn, maybe evolving 2 Milotics in a single turn to recover 120 is the play. I think this is very spicy. I like this. I like that we saw in Top Cut. We're still going to need to see a much larger sample size of Mega Gyarados decks and the top cutting ones and how well they perform and what their matchups are, right? Because as of right now, this only really has a, what, Milotic is the Oricorio counter, and if that, right? So, I mean, maybe this Mega Gyarados got very lucky and just did not play into any Oricorios, or maybe they did and they used Milotic. Either way, 2 Mega Gyarados in Top Cut. Phenomenal. Now, what I want to do is quickly go over all the one-offs before diving into the larger player group in Top Cut. First up is Hydreigon. Okay, day 1. Well, actually, I guess you can call this Hydreigon and Mega Absol, which there are 2 Mega Absol decks. So I'll share both of them because honestly, I didn't know this one even had Mega Absol until I clicked on it. But the Hydreigon and Mega Absol makes a ton of sense. This is literally Rampardos, but not a fossil. So maybe it's better, maybe it's not better. You have a 2-1-2 set for your Hydreigon, and then you have 1 Eevee and 1 Sylveon EX. This Eevee is not the new Eevee, so maybe you only play this from the bench. That makes sense. And then I'm assuming your Mega Absol is for later, especially in a tournament setting where you have open deck lists. I think Mega Absol EX might actually be better. So I'm going to retract what I said earlier about it being terrible everywhere. I think it might be pretty good, especially when you see your opponent's deck and you're able to just discard a card from their deck. And then they have a bunch of other supporter cards, your Lily to help out your Hydreigon. Honestly, a pretty well-rounded deck. Fantastic. Let's check out the other Mega Absol deck real quick. Ah, yes, this is the one I wanted to talk about. So you're running Mega Absol here with 2 Pichu because the Pichu can either ramp your Oricorio or your Darkrai, and there's 1 Darkrai, right? The issue with this is, what if you start with your Mega Absol? You only have 1 leaf. It's like, if you get hit, that's the issue I have. You have how many basics? All your Pokemon are basic Pokemon. That's 7 basic Pokemon. Knowing my luck in this tournament, right? You will start off with the 1 basic Pokemon in your hand that you don't want to start with. And I don't know. I'm not comfortable running a deck like that. But obviously this made it all the way to Top Cut. And I think a lot of that has to do with Oricorio, which honestly, we're going to talk a lot about at the end of this video. But yeah, no, another Mega Absol deck. So shout out to them. They did much better than this next archetype in Pokemon that I thought was going to be crazy day 1. And that's Mega Ampharos EX. I think I already uploaded a video of this deck. Not this exact deck, but like of this Pokemon on my channel. It does really well. The issue is the reason why we probably didn't see too many Mega Ampharos EX day 1 is because the consistency issue, even with May and research, if you don't find your rare candies or your evolution into your Mega Ampharos, yeah, having a Zeraora elemental switch is great, but if you can't ramp your Mega Pokemon in time, you just don't draw it, you're cooked, right? So the way I built my deck is with Cleffa, Communication, May, and there was something else that helped us draw and guarantee. Oh no, there was a Lily for recovery. That's what it was. And it helped us do much better in terms of consistency by pivoting in and out and then finding our Pokemon to evolve. Other people have had success with Raikou, and there were a ton of Raikou Mega Ampharos in this tournament, but none of them made it to Top Cut. So either they had the worst matchups ever and they just bricked, or maybe Mega Ampharos needs a little bit more help. Next up is Mega Pinsir, and I almost did an identical. I literally uploaded this video earlier this morning at like 6 a.m. right? Except mine did not have an Alolan Executor. This one does. They're running Execute, Executor, and Double Will. So that helps you having a non-EX with 3 energy that can hit for up to 150, or your Mega Pinsir EX. They only have 1 in here. I ran 2. And I kind of like this one a bit better, if I'm being completely honest. The thing I would change, though, is the Sabrina for maybe something like an Erica. But having the Oricorio is just so great because you can literally checkmate opponents that have no counter to Oricorio. In fact, my deck that I was running with Jolteon and Oricorio, there was a match that I went into. It was a Blaziken Entei, and that's all they had. So all I had to do was go into Oricorio, and I just won that. It's a best 2 out of 3. It's just easy dubs. Oricorio on the board, win. So you really need an Oricorio counter in every single deck. I really do think so. And the last spicy deck that I want to talk about before I share the largest populated deck in Top Cut, well, semi actually, is going to be this Hitmonchan EX that's also running a Hitmonlee and Chingling. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to have to try this out tomorrow while I stream. This seems super spicy. They're also running 2 copies of Copycat since there are a ton of Entei's. Still people are playing Suicune and Raikou. By the time they get up to like 7, 8 cards in their hand, you can hit a single Copycat, shuffle your entire hand, and then draw 8 cards of your own, which is pretty sick. It'll help you get your Rampardos online. It's pretty fantastic. There's 2 Hitmonchans here, and the issue I have with that is it is an EX for 130 that, yes, it can hit for 50, but that's all it can do, and it's a little lackluster. I think Rocky Helmet here, though, is fantastic. That is not what I included in my build earlier when I tried, and I think that makes way more sense, because now you're turning that 50 damage into a potential 70 damage. I would also potentially throw in, me personally, like a Giovanni or 2, just because having that potential 60 damage turn 1 on a basic Pokemon is fantastic. But yeah, now it's time to showcase one of the top decks, top played and top represented decks in Top Cut of this tournament. And that is Mega Blaziken and Entei EX. This one's running a non-EX Blaziken, which I think you have to in order to combat Oricorios, which is, respectable, but it's not running Cyrus, it's running Sabrina. And that could be good, that could be bad. But the thing is, I don't think Entei EX, I don't know, I might get, chewed up for this. I just don't think Entei EX is the best idea for this kind of deck because of the 2 retreat cost. And I mean, it's doing good day 1, but it's only day 1. We still got to see. In fact, I'm going to try a build that I got recommended by CJ. I'm very excited to try that out. I'm going to try that one tomorrow. And I think that might actually end up being, unironically, a much better Mega Blaziken EX build. But I haven't seen anyone play it. I haven't seen anyone talk about it except for CJ. So shout out to them. But yeah, no, this runs the flame patch. So that way, if your Entei EX goes down, your Mega Blaziken comes in and just pretty much decimates everything. You don't even have to worry if it doesn't have enough energy. You're more than fine. And there were 8 decks in Top Cut that were representing the Blaziken. And now you're probably thinking, oh my God, that's the most. Blaziken, Mega Blaziken EX Entei is the best. But what if I told you you're wrong? That's not the most represented deck. I'll give you guys 5 seconds. Can you guess what the most represented Pokemon in every single deck is? Oricorio. Yeah, 13, I believe, maybe 14, 13, I'm pretty sure, are all running Oricorio. You got Mega Pinsir and Mega Absol even running Oricorio. I think Oricorio is the absolute winner of Mega Rising. Like, you have all these Mega, this is how I'm picturing it, like all the Mega Pokemon and then Oricorio on top with a crown, like, yes, heavy is the crown. But anyway, guys, that's day 1. Tomorrow, I'm going to be competing in Top Cut. Hopefully I do well. Let me know what you think of this meta report. Honestly, I had a ton of fun, even though I was under the weather. Shout out to Medicine. Feeling much better. I'll catch you guys later. Don't forget to like, hype, and subscribe.